Photography can be one of the loneliest creative pursuits. It's just you, your camera, and whatever's in front of you. But some of the most important moments in my life, in my photography journey, didn't happen alone. They happened because of other people, and it took a long time for me to understand that. If you're new here, my name is Tomas. I'm a photographer and artist, and my work sits at the intersection of photography, reflection, and lived experience. On this channel, I share lessons and reflections from my own journey about creativity, growth, and building a meaningful art practice over time. It isn't about shortcuts and chasing trends. It's about slowing down and paying attention and learning to trust your voice. When I was first starting out, photography wasn't a plan. It wasn't even a goal. When my father passed away in the late 1990s, I inherited a camera. I took some photos, I enjoyed it. There was something meaningful about that time though. But then life moved on. I put the camera away and I didn't think much about photography for a long time. Almost a decade later, I had the chance to hold a digital SLR for the very first time. And within a couple of shutter clicks, something clicked in me. Maybe it was the instant feedback on the back of the camera. Maybe it was timing. I really didn't know. But I remember thinking, oh, this is interesting. And I was hooked. Like a lot of people, once I was in, I was all in. I bought a camera that worked with all the lenses I inherited. I went out shooting. I took photos that I absolutely loved. Looking back now, they weren't very good. But at the time, they felt important. And that excitement carried me for a while. I spent years buying gear, selling gear, and learning by trial and error. For a long time, I did all of this on my own. Eventually, I hit a point where I realized something was missing. Not technically, but socially. I didn't need a new camera. I didn't need a leather lens. I needed people. I needed to be around others who cared about the same things. I found photography groups online. Some of them hosted meetups and workshops. I signed up for a night photography workshop, not because I thought I needed the instruction, but because I wanted to meet the people. That night changed everything. We walked around Stillwater, Minnesota, photographing and talking. I met the instructor Dave, someone I've known for well over a decade now. He was accomplished. He was generous. He was down to earth. And that mattered. That experience showed me something I didn't expect. The people I admired weren't intimidating. They weren't guarded. They were approachable. And when you're just starting out, that's huge. There's this idea about never meeting your heroes, but I met some of my early ones and it was reassuring. Being around other photographers made photography much more enjoyable. It wasn't just about making images anymore. It was about shared moments, conversations, laughing in the dark, and learning, especially learning without pressure. Some of my favorite images, even ones that have won awards, are tied directly to the people that were there with me. When I look at those photos now, I don't just see the image. I see my friends. I remember where they were standing. I remember the conversations we were having. I remember laughing, even though we couldn't see each other in the dark. The context matters, and community just doesn't make photography more fun. It deepens the experience. There's an idea that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I've found that to be mostly true. If you're the smartest person in the room, it might be time to find a new room. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because growth happens when you're surrounded by people who challenge you. Community accelerates learning. You see how others think, you hear different approaches, and you start asking better questions. And you grow faster than you would on your own. So here's your homework. Find local photography groups. Look for clubs, meetups, or public photo walks. You don't have to commit. You don't have to join anything.